Good evening. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable but also more useful than a life spent doing nothing. By George Bernard Shaw. Welcome to BMC English News Live. Myself, Marina Francis, joining you with today's news updates. News in detail. The Indian Minister of State for External Affairs, V. Muralidharan, has arrived in Bahrain just now for a 3-day visit. This is his first visit to the kingdom. He will be attending meetings with Bahrain ministers, other officials and Indian social workers and prominent Indian expats from health, education and business sectors in Bahrain. Passengers to pay BD 36 for 3 COVID-19 tests after arriving in Bahrain. Passengers arriving at Bahrain International Airport will have to pay BD 36 for 3 PCR tests for the coronavirus. The update reflecting on the Be Aware Bahrain app follows the Civil Aviation Affairs revised travel protocols announced last week, effective from Sunday, August 29th, applicable to passengers aged over 6. Public parks could reopen on Friday. Public parks, gardens and walkways could be reopened on Friday for the first time in more than a year. The Southern Municipal Council has referred an urgent proposal in this regard to the National Task Force for Combating the Coronavirus as Bahrain adopts the green level under the COVID-19 alert level traffic light system from Friday. The Indian Embassy in Bahrain addresses community issues at open house. The Embassy of India has organized an open house during which Ambassador Piyush Srivastava interacted with the Indian community virtually to redress their urgent and non-routine consular and labor issues. Ambassador Srivastava applauded the support of the Bahrain government through its vaccination campaign for the community. He welcomed the decision of the Labour Market Regulatory Authority LMRA to issue fresh work visas to Indian citizens. The ambassador thanked the community for their overwhelming participation in the virtual events held to celebrate India's 75th Independence Day. He also briefed the community about the visit of the Indian naval ship INS Kochi to Bahrain to mark the occasion and the golden jubilee of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Bahrain. We shall be back after a very short break. Welcome back. Bahrain has been ranked 12th globally in terms of military expenditure compared to its gross domestic product according to the Economist's Defense Spending Index for the year 2020. As per the statistics provided by the International Weekly newspaper, Bahrain's defense spending constituted 3.9% of the kingdom's GDP, placing the country 7th in the ranking of military expenditure as a percentage of GDP among the Arab countries and 4th in the GCC region. This amounted to $1,000 per capita as per the figures. Bahrain and Oman signed 3 MOUs as they stress closer cooperation. The 7th meeting of the Bahraini-Omani Joint Ministerial Committee was held today under the chairmanship of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, the Oman's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Syed Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi. Al Zayani highlighted in his speech the strong historic relations between Bahrain and Oman and their growth thanks to the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said. He hailed holding the 7th session of the Bahraini-Omani Joint Committee to enhance bilateral cooperation in various fields, expressing hope that the Joint Committee will undertake the task of implementing the agreements and memoranda of understanding that have been signed. Al Zayani expressed thanks and appreciation to all senior officials from both sides who contribute to the development of relations between the two countries. The Omani minister praised the deep-rooted brotherly ties between the two countries, affirming keenness to work as part of the committee to develop bilateral cooperation. The two sides discussed prospects for enhancing coordination in a number of areas and exchanged views on the latest regional and international developments. They also agreed to hold the 8th meeting of the committee in Oman in 2022. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, stressed the importance of investing in the Kingdom of Bahrain's national workforce to further enhance creativity, competitiveness and excellence across various government work streams. This came as His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister yesterday met remotely with the 6th intake of the Prime Minister's Fellowship Programme. His Royal Highness highlighted that Bahraini citizens' determination has supported the kingdom's development efforts led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He noted that His Majesty the King's directives continue to guide the efforts of Bahraini citizens towards achieving the kingdom's development goals. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister commended the Fellows' responsibility, performance and continuous passion throughout the year-long program. His Royal Highness highlighted the quality of the projects that were submitted and their effective outputs, which reflected the skills and experience gained and the efforts made by the members of the 6th intake despite the challenges of the COVID pandemic. Bahrain's daily COVID positivity rate is at 0.51%. Out of 18,622 COVID-19 tests carried out yesterday in Bahrain, 95 new cases have been detected. Among 39 expatriate workers, 43 new cases, contacts of active cases, and 13 travel-related. There were 101 recoveries from COVID-19 and no fatalities due to COVID-19 in Bahrain yesterday. Bahrain national team bowler Yusuf Fallah has been crowned champion of the 25th Saudi Bowling Federation Men's Individual Open Tournament, which came to a close on Saturday. Fallah clinched the title after winning the 3-bowler final game in the tournament deciding step-ladder round. Now, we shall be back again after a short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. To have a wonderful shopping experience, please visit your nearest Megamart Macromart branch. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Kuwait to begin COVID-19 booster dose inoculations in September. Kuwait's health ministry has announced that it will begin sending messages out for booster doses of the COVID-19 vaccine by the end of September, a local media reported. The target group includes the elderly, individuals who have had organ transplants, cancer patients, and those with chronic diseases. UAE President issues federal law to establish National Human Rights Institution. United Arab Emirates President, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has issued a federal law establishing the National Human Rights Institution, NHRI. As per Article 2 of the law, the National Human Rights Institution will be established and headquartered in Abu Dhabi. The NHRI may open additional branches and establish offices in other emirates. Article 3 stipulates that the institution will be an independent legal entity with financial and administrative autonomy in the exercise of its functions, activities and competencies. According to Article 4, the NHRA aims to promote and protect human rights and fundamental freedoms following the provisions of the UAE Constitution, laws and legislation in force in the UAE as well as relevant international conventions. Abu Dhabi orders residents to take Sinopharm vaccine booster shot. Abu Dhabi residents who received the second dose of the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine more than 6 months ago are required to get a booster shot by September 20th. The booster dose must be taken to enhance their immunity and comply with approved health protocol, Abu Dhabi Media Office said on Sunday. Those who don't receive the third jab will lose their green status on the UAE's Al Hosn app, which allows people to access public venues like shopping malls, schools and gyms. South Korea's lunar orbiter on track for launch next year. South Korea's Science Ministry said Monday the country's first lunar exploration mission is on track for launch in August next year after it strengthened ties with the United States earlier this year in space exploration. South Korea aims to conduct a year-long mission to observe the moon through an orbiting spacecraft with hopes of securing technologies for future space exploration missions. COVID-19 worldwide deaths pass 4.5 million. Since the outbreak emerged in China in December 2019, the virus has killed a total of 4,500,620 people, the tally of official sources revealed. Some 10,000 deaths are reported every day in the world, a much lower figure than the highs of January when an average of 14,800 people were being killed daily. Lake Tahoe threatened by massive fire, more ordered to flee. Fire officials ordered more evacuations around the Tahoe Basin Sunday evening as crews dealt with a 2-week-old blaze they said was more aggressive than anticipated and continued to edge toward the pristine waters of Lake Tahoe. Flames churned through mountains just a few miles southwest of the Tahoe Basin, where thick smoke sent tourists packing at a time when summer vacations could usually be full swing ahead of the Labor Day weekend. Nora, now a tropical storm, kills a boy in Mexican resort town. Nora, which has now weakened to a tropical storm, killed one boy over the weekend after torrential rains and heavy winds caused a building in the popular resort town Puerto Vallarta to partially collapse. Nora was about 105 miles northwest of Mazatlan on Sunday evening and moving north-northwest at 12 miles per hour, the National Hurricane Center said. It was blowing at 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Hurricane Ida lashes Louisiana, knocks out New Orleans power. Hurricane Ida blasted ashore Sunday as one of the most powerful storms ever to hit the U.S., knocking out power to all of New Orleans, blowing roofs off buildings and reversing the flow of the Mississippi River as it rushed from the Louisiana coast into one of the nation's most important industrial corridors. The power outage in New Orleans heightened the city's vulnerability to flooding and left hundreds of thousands of people without air conditioning and refrigeration in sweltering summer heat. With that news, we come to the end of today's news updates. Stay tuned for daily news updates in English every day at 7:30 p.m. Good night.